Let me go back to the Selena song,
Oh
"I Could
yeah.
Fall in Love." I think that was the one that you were involved. Tell me a little bit about that project from start to finish. What you how you got involved with that one? Because that's a personal note. I knew of Selena before the movie and enjoyed her stuff, and my daughter was a big fan of her. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that if you don't mind doing that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I got a call to initially I got a call to produce her album, and my manager at the time said, "You have too much going on. I think we just, we pare it down and do, maybe five sides." And I said, "Okay." So she came to Nashville, and typically back in the day, the way I would work is I would have already written some of these tracks, right, without lyrics, because to me that's where the artist puts their 2 cents in, and we kind of form it around them. But I had written a song called "I Could Fall in Love," and she fell in love with it. And so there were two sides that she loved, and the second track, I didn't have a lyric for, but so we decided we're going to just start with "I Could Fall in Love." And so by the time she had gotten back into town, I'd finished it up, and so we recorded that song that week. And it's funny because there's some funny stories around that. Oh my goodness! I own a studio called the Bennett House in Franklin, Tennessee,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's
okay.
legendary. Not because of me, but it's legendary just so how many records and hits have been made out of that place. Norbert Putnam had it before I did. He was a well-known producer, or is a well-known producer, and Dan, what's his name, leader of the band? Yes, having a brain cramp.
It's all right.
Um, anyway, they made those records there. Bob Montgomery made a lot of country records there. I made the Amy Grant records and BB and CC records there. But Selena came to work at the Bennett House, and I had my own private room in the back. And down the hall, Winona was working. Winona Judd was in the other room, and so Selena luggage got lost on her flight. So she said, "I'm going to run to Walmart and pick up a new wardrobe." I said, "Okay." So she was out, and somehow on the way back she bought food. She said, "I'm gonna cook you guys a Mexican feast." And so she was in the kitchen cooking, and Winona walked down the hall and thought she was our chef and said, "Hey, if we buy groceries, would you mind cooking for us too?" And that was funny. She got a big kick out of that.
Uh,
And Winona and I laughed about that. But you know, she was such a sweetheart. She was another one of those, just a sweet soul. I don't know. She and I connected on a whole nother level. It was like, wow. We got in the studio. One funny thing is, like, I'd written this middle section to be in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. But I did the demo with me pretending I'm speaking Spanish, and she was on the floor. It was so funny. So I just let her go freestyle, whatever you want to say during that section, and that's what that
uh-huh.
is. But
She did like a talking part, the rap in the
the
middle
talking
there.
part, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's
I remember
great.
seeing her at the back of the studio. I'm sitting at the console, and she's like, "I'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and I'll be back and do the other song." And that next week, I'm working on this song that we just cut vocals on. And I walked out in the hallway, and my studio manager said, "Selena's dead." And
Uh,
I had a physical pain in my heart. And I went back in and turned on the news, and sure enough, it was already on the news. And I had to leave the studio. I didn't work the rest of that week.
yeah.
But it's just tragic because, I mean, how quickly life goes, or can end. You just never know. And so that's why it's important to love people while you can, to tell them how much you love them while they're here, all that good stuff. And it's like,
Yes.
because you never know. I mean, you just don't.
And I guess it was a bittersweet posthumous release of that song, right? So once that
Right.
was done, it came out, and very nice production, very good pop, a nice hook on it and everything. So I
Right.
thought that was a
Thank you.
great way for people who weren't familiar with her other things that she was doing. All the Tejano material that she was doing. So
Right.
yeah, it was. Thank you for that. That was a nice story. I didn't want to ruin it by talking too much over that.
Oh no, it's all good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but she was a good girl. I mean, I there's no question in my mind. what her trajectory would have been. Is like she would have been a superstar. She would have been another Beyonce, that kind of thing.
Yes, I
like,
did see that. Yeah, Gloria Estefan once said that she was on her way out and there was no stopping her, but that the bullet did. So I'm very sorry about that. Let me move on from that. But thank you. I appreciate that a lot.